All right. Now, in the meantime, in Paris right now, in the middle of all of this, you would naturally think they are like stink on you-know-what on following anything having to do with terror, right? That would be their full central focus. Well, you would be wrong. For 150 leaders from around the world gathering in Paris, it has nothing to do with terror, but with climate change. And the Climate Depot's Marc Morano, who says, you know, that's what we call awkward timing. Now, Marc has a film coming out, The Climate Hustle, and it is making its big debut in France at the Sorbonne, I believe. Very good for you, yes. Marc. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Why did you choose France for the debut?
Well, this is going to be in the middle of all the action. The United Nations Climate Summit. This is the biggest summit in at least 6 years where the world leaders are going to try to alter the course of human civilization through the Earth's climate. And so we're going to have a red carpet premiere, Neil,
wow,
right in the middle of downtown Paris. And there's going to be a lot of protesters with nowhere else to go. So we hope this goes off. But we're going to have the founder of Greenpeace and a lot of other people showing up live at the red carpet. And this film is going to turn the tables on the entire global warming movement. We interview people who used to be believers in man-made global warming and have now grown skeptical, Nobel Prize-winning scientists, UN scientists. So it's going to go right at the heart of the Paris climate negotiation.
Now, you know, a lot of people going back and forth as to why to hold these negotiations of climate change things right after the Paris attacks. I can understand giving the benefit of the doubt to the president of France, the president of the United States, to say, well, if we canceled the thing, it would look bad in the eyes of the terrorists. But to continue it without mentioning terrorism, although they did at the outset, it sends a very different message. It almost makes the terrorists think, are you serious?
Yeah, the terrorists might be upset. Hey, you know, why aren't you paying attention to us? Well, what they've done, even more absurd, I can understand the notion of going forward no matter what.
Right,
we won't let terrorists deter it. But we have voices, including CNN and including the administration and others, who are claiming that global warming will solve terrorism somehow or lessen terrorism or make, if we solve global warming and lower CO2 levels, carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the Middle East may turn peaceful, as if, you know, the Middle East used to be a peaceful place until, you know, the last, 50 years of carbon dioxide emissions and industrialization. They are missing
by the way,
boat
that has only recently come a powder keg, right? That the last few centuries
That's
notwithstanding.
Right.
But I want to ask you about this other goal that they're pushing, where the United States is largely footing the bill.
Yeah.
This idea to control the temperature rise across the planet to 2 degrees Celsius, that would be about 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit, but to forcibly bring it down through these actions. A lot easier said than done, right?
Yeah, we had one UK scientist, Philip Stott, who said there are quite literally hundreds of factors governing global climate. For the United Nations to pick one, politically selected factor, carbon dioxide, and then try to tweak it at the margins and then come up with some temperature goal, 50, 100 years into the future is akin to scientific nonsense. And you could call it modern-day witchcraft, if you will. We know, Neil, from the ClimateGate emails that this 2-degree limit that the United Nations has been parroting about was, quote, plucked from thin air, unquote, according to UN scientist Phil Jones. That's what was revealed in those emails that, that were released in 2009. So we know that even UN scientists don't buy this 2-degree limit. It's not based on science. It's a political goal to get countries to join in so they can entertain these idea of a tipping point. You must act or else. The climate's going to get very bad. We can protect you from the climate if you sign on to this treaty.
And I found it interesting, although much of the world is Celsius, that we quoted Celsius, because 2 degrees, you say, oh, what's the big deal, when it's almost 4 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's
but
right.
Again, which is the extent of my knowledge on this stuff, what's the big deal, right? All right, very good having you again. Good luck with the film. I'm sure the Oscar nominations await.
That's right.
Very
Thank you,
good
Neil. Appreciate it.